Welcome to Hops and Hacks, episode 1, where we talk security and drink beer. I'm Andy, and with me is Chris.
How's it going?
Ryan.
Hey.
Steve.
Cheers.
And Mike. So as this is our first episode, we should give ourselves a quick self-introduction. So I'm Andy. My background is really more so inch deep, mile wide for cybersecurity. So not a specialist in really anything, so I don't know if that's good or bad yet. The beer that I'm drinking tonight is Metaphase from Drecker. So it's a double dry hopped double IPA, from which is pretty hazy right now, pretty juicy, hazy, dry. And that's kind of like the beer that I like to drink, more hazy of the dippas. And I'll pass it over to Chris.
How's it going? I'm drinking Very Green tonight. It's from Treehouse. I actually haven't poured it yet because I'm gonna do a live pour for you because I'm cool like that. So like Andy said, kind of been in the field for a little bit now. Kind of a melting pot, lots of different things. Mostly what I like to do is, technical networking stuff kind of at the 2 to layer 5 level. It's kind of where most of my job's been for the past 3 to 4 years. I'm a security engineer for a bank in Boston. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. And this beautiful beer right here is delicious. It's hazy double IPA. Love IPAs. They're my go-to, but sours are kind of growing on me thanks to Ryan. And yeah, so I'll pass it on to him.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Ryan. I am currently working as a consultant for the Air Force as an information security officer. I've been in the security realm for about 10 years, give or take, and quite a few different roles in those positions, either as an engineer or a little bit of supervision, a little bit of technician work. So again, kind of like what Andy's doing. An inch deep, mile wide type of work. So it's been, I don't know, it's been good. It's thoroughly enjoying it. Tonight I'm going with something Chris sent me from Treehouse. It's a fruited double IPA. So I'm gonna do a live pour as well out of this sweet glass that I have that somebody also donated my way. He doesn't have one.
No.
And that was a bad intro pour, but my favorites right now, double IPAs as well, and thoroughly loving Drecker sours, or basically any fruited sour, just killing it. So that's usually my go-to. Happy to be here and look forward to a couple of these. Steve, you want next?
Steve, I don't think your mic's working.
He's out. Mikey. Nope.
Mike, do you want to go up?
Nope.
While Steve fixes his mic. We can't hear you. I can't hear you, Mike, either.
This is why we did a dry run.
Yep, that's why
I know, right? Wait, I gotta do this again? Son of a bitch.
Oh no. It's continuous. This is live, baby.
I like
We're doing it live.
Oh, we should definitely put a disclaimer. We do swear.
Yep. No edits here. No edits.
Because we're grown ass man and we can swear.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike.
There you go. I got Mike.
There he is.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
No Steve.
No Steve yet.
Steve. I don't know what was up with that. It was on the right source. Anyway.
You're up, bud.
Yep. Go ahead.
Ready?
Send it.
We editing that part out?
Nope.
We're just going raw. All right. Cool. All right. So anyway, my name's Mike. I'm an information security analyst for the Department of Veterans Affairs, along with our other stuff that we do on the side. Most of my role right now on that side is policy work and making sure people do the right things. But I have experience with pen testing, red team, blue team, a bunch of other fun stuff. I just don't get to play as technical as I used to. But that's why we play on the side. So we'll talk about that as we go. Tonight, I am also drinking a Drecker. Thank you, Ryan. And this one is Flow Futuristic. It's a double IPA. It's got Citra and Mosaic in it. Nice, hazy, in a worthy glass. Right, Chris? My preference for beers kind of goes all over the place. Depends on my mood. I like and love IPAs, love stouts, browns, Germans, anything, pretty much, as long as it tastes good. Although my affinity for sours is definitely growing because of Ryan and Drecker sours. So,
Yeah.
all right, Steve.
If you can.
Nothing. Oh,
Well, he can jump in.
get a whiteboard.
What does it say? Like everything we do in work, nothing.
We get to interpret Steve. He's drinking
got a daily serving
from Trillium.
He is drinking a sour tonight,
Nice.
Fruited sour, which are super tasty.
provided by yours
It's
truly.
like a purple. Yeah, Mike.
He likes
He
keyboards.
builds keyboards. He's mind blown at having Mandalorian keyboard because he doesn't actually understand Mandalorian, so it's hard for him to type. And
He's got the mute button on the keyboard. You can't
Steve
find it.
Steve is a senior admin that does a lot of cyber range stuff and is very good with Linux. And in fact, he teaches a lot of us some Linux stuff. So
Yeah, definitely a Linux guru.
you'll definitely see some later videos with him teaching us even more stuff and us just going,
Fuck it, I'm just gonna use my webcam.
Hey, there we go.
Your intro's over. We did it for you.
Yeah, I bang on keyboards and make shit happen.
And you're drinking the purple stuff,
Yeah.
next to the
Wonderful
Sunny D,
playing advice
purple stuff.
from Trillium. Thank you, Chris.
Chris
Get
has done a good job in converting him to IPAs.
Somebody knows how to ship beer, evidently.
Better than some other.
Gotcha, Caesar in the making. Well, Steve, let's do your elevator pitch now that your mic's working, so we can at least get you a proper intro with your face.
You guys aren't getting an echo, are you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a senior sysadmin. If you name a title in IT, I've probably done it. Actually, I can almost guarantee I've done it. I love getting down in the weeds, super technical. If you put something in front of me that I haven't used before and leave me alone for a week, I can generally figure it out. That's me.
Preferred beers?
Beers, everything but single IPAs. But I prefer sours. Yeah.
Why singles?
The single IPAs tend to be more dank and like really hoppy. I don't like dry hops either. I like the really juicy, like, I think it's the Galaxy hops, the doubles and the triples. Those are
Galaxy, Citra, and Mosaic.
yeah.
Nice. Sweet. So I think our topic tonight's gonna, be kind of an intro to security awareness, right, Andy?
Yeah, so this month is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so little side tip there. So yeah, let's talk about security awareness. I think we first have to define security awareness, right? So my basic definition is really just a formal process of educating employees about computer security, mainly defending against or identifying phishing emails, and so this most of it's mainly social engineering. Does anybody else have? Sometimes you kind of get into the semantics of security awareness versus security awareness training. To me, it all really just means the same.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like, you know, if you think about it in the context of like what you do in your daily life, um, when you cross a street, you look both ways so you don't get hit by a car. Uh, Same thing with when you open up your email, making sure that you know, at a minimum, the domain is recognizable. It's not just some garbage. And I think that actually, are we doing like shameless plugs or anything? Or is that a
Sure.
no-no for us?
No, yeah, go for it.
Ah.
So
It doesn't mean they're gonna
Well-
follow you, but you know.
Seriously.
I think we've already said director like 6 times. So.
Trios, Director, Trilio.
Yeah.
We're putting people on the map. Not really, but we're trying. Pay for
a
effort.
lot of people focus on security awareness from the perspective of an adult. And of course, I asked to plug him, and I'm not remembering his name. It's Curtis. The book is M is for Malware, but it's basically a kid's book that it's made of like really heavy cardstock, and each letter aligns with a term related to security. And I think that's great because all of us didn't grow up with the internet. You know, we've had a choice as to what we've put out on the internet, and we've had an opportunity to watch it grow and kind of learn some of that stuff along the way. These days, children, they're growing up with it already in their daily lives, and I think that making these topics aware to children is extremely important, especially when they start getting to an age where they have their own devices and they're going out on the internet with no supervision.
Yeah, especially like on that privacy side too. Just if you download an app, what are you actually given access to? For like kids and like students and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just way more heavy, more app based for pretty much everything. So we have to know what you're signing up for at the same time.
Yeah, and I think
So
you know.
when Steve,
Go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, yeah, Steve brought up that other great point about the awareness factor of the month, or you know, at all times. It's that it's not always in the business setting. You know, it's at home. It's sitting on your phone, or you know, it's out in the world too. So it's I don't know. It's just it's a total awareness capability, and then I don't know. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, you know, we bring up the capabilities of kids, right? I know younger kids that are, you know, 5, 6, 7 that are plowing through an iPhone or whatever, going through all the settings and, you know, being able to download all these things and view all of these different games and play all these games and, you know, sometimes purchase stuff, which I shouldn't be doing. But, you know, it's funny to watch, you know, us, you know, being older and then going back and looking at us being like, oh, we were 16 before we had a phone or whatever. And, you know, you had to T9 it, which was ridiculous, by the way. But you really got to put it in perspective, right? Like at work, you have people that are, you know, elderly to you that, you know, aren't used to email. So when the common signs come up to us, like the domain or the email is like T18574@3.8.net, right? Like that's a huge flag, or it's in a different language or inappropriate wording and stuff like that. Those are things that we look for, but not everybody knows to look for those things. So bringing up red flags, I think, is kind of what security awareness is, bringing awareness to everybody of what to look for and how to train them mentally to do this outside of work as well, but also inside, because, you know, at work, you're trying to protect information, but at home, you know, if you click a wrong link, you might not have the controls in place to prevent you from connecting to a malicious site that's going to steal information. So you can take those lessons that you learn at work and try to apply them at home as well. So, you know, it's security awareness isn't just a work thing, it's an at-home thing too.
Yeah, and even just incorporating at-home security awareness will also pay dividends for at work also, right? So if you just constantly just have good security hygiene overall, then you'll be good at home and also at work.
Definitely.
Yeah, you would think that sometimes, you know, even if you're in the business, you can make mistakes, right?
Totally.
Chris brought up the iPhones, you know, plowing through it and everything else. My daughter got one, and even with settings, she was good enough to brute force her parent password and bought Roblox, excuse me.
Yep.
So didn't realize it until it was too late, and you know, I'm out $40 on Roblox, and I'm like, I'm mad at her because she did it and she had to know she was doing it, right? Because she's 10. But at the same time, I'm kind of proud. Be like, hey, you kind of brute forced my password. It wasn't strong, you know, wasn't. So I'm like, dang. Like, you got me. So tough. It was a tough lesson to learn, man. And she got grounded though, and she still got punished for it because obviously that can't let that go. But oh man, so proud and so disappointed at myself at the same time.
Which, you know, kind of leads into another point, PII, you know, personally identifiable information. You know, you post stuff on social media all the time, like, oh, it's my birthday. Oh, it's my anniversary. Oh, I'm on vacation, you know, stuff like that. That stuff is used and gathered to potentially be used against you to guess your password. So, you know, commonplace would be don't put your birthday, don't put your anniversary date numbers into your password. You know, it's something bad guys, you know, are capturing and they're going to test against you, which, you know, probably was the case for this.
Yeah, or even just
Yeah.
for like the vacation and stuff like that, social media. Maybe wait until after you get back, if possible.
Yeah.
Just so like everybody knows that you're not at home. So
Yes.
at least so.
No, for me, it was kids, you know, it was an easy one, right? But she just happened to know the extra characters and the numbers and stuff like that kind of went along with, you know, I even had a space in there too. Capital letters, spaces, names, characters,
She may
numbers.
have shoulder surfed you.
Yeah, she must have. I mean, so it wasn't like, you know, summer 2020, whatever. It was legit in a sense of complexity, not length, just complexity, but whatever.
Which,
It's
you
not
know,
the,
you bring up a valid point. You know, you might hit complexity standards, but if you have a company name or a place you went to vacation, you know, a basic dictionary word in you know, a certain structure, you know, that you could have 16 characters with uppers and lowers and special characters, but if it's something that, you know, is descriptive, like Aruba with a capital A and, you know, like a @ sign or something, you know,
That's my password.
Oh, right.
son of a bitch.
Maybe I should uninstall that keylogger. But you know,
not my password.
just because you hit complexities doesn't necessarily mean, you know, that you're doing the best you can, you know. So don't use commonplace words because there are these lists, you know, rainbow tables and dictionary attacks that basically are just compiled list of common words with alterations and they throw them at them. And with enough computing power, it doesn't matter. At one point, your stuff will get broken. Even if it is 2 trillion.
Me as a person, I don't think I'm that, I'm not worth all that time and effort, you know, just, I have nothing going on.
So
I'm not saying, I would say that. Yeah, no. I'm not saying that in regards to being, not being diligent because of that. I'm saying for my personal stuff, like I multi-factor everything, right? And I think that you should multi-factor everything anyway. But I think more of the business aspect is more of how Ross was kind of describing it in regards to
yes,
the usage of tables or
Yeah.
brute forcing, things like that. But there's also policies going to be put in place to
Yeah.
disable accounts or notify somebody. You know, hopefully the business is taking care of themselves in that level so that somebody's aware that somebody's trying to do more than what they should be, or somebody's already failed a bunch of times, an administrator's already failed a bunch of times, or even a user account.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because policy drives everything. But my response to that, to like kind of dig into why I responded like that, was your reaction was, you know, why is somebody going to go after little old me? And the reason they're going to go after you, little old you, whether you're an individual or a business or whatever, is because you came up on their network scan as having something vulnerable. They don't know what's on the other end. All they know is they found something that might be vulnerable.
Low hanging fruit.
And a lot of small businesses don't understand that concept.
Or there are, you know, you don't even have to rainbow table somebody. I mean, or brute force them, because a lot of, you know, there are breaches, right? And so their hashes are gone, or, you know, they were hosting their passwords in plain text. So now they have a email account with plain text password. They don't need to worry. They can send that to you in an email saying, hey, you know, we found this malicious stuff, you know, send us money. Otherwise, or they could just try to brute force other sites with that same password. You know, it could go along different ways. So multi-factor everything.
Yeah.
So you keep saying what is multi-factor? You know, can we kind of like maybe dive into that? Because not everybody might know what MFA is or multi-factor is. So if someone want to jump on what that is, maybe talk about out of band as well.
Yeah, right. So multi-factor, right? So there's 3 factors of authentication attributes, I guess. So it's what you know. So that's going to be your password. And then what you have, which could be a physical device like a key fob, or even just like a one-time passcode that rotates. And then what you are, which is biometrics. So multi-factor has to be at least two of those 3.
It can't be the same too. Or
Cannot
from
be
the same.
Right. Yeah.
That's a big kind of gotcha, right? So if you have 2 passwords or a challenge question and a password, that's only 1 factor still.
Yeah, and now a lot of corporations are, you know, you have the login with your username, your password, and the code from the fob, which, you know, again, can be hardware or software generated one off the phone. But then it also will text you or email you, and you have to put in a verification code as well. You know, and that's kind of a way to combat, you know, people from brute forcing stuff. But again, if you have lax security on your email, or, you know, you click the wrong link on your phone and it gets malware, like that's a good way to get bypassed. Granted, it's a lot of work, but it's a possibility. So, you know, that's insecurity awareness wise, you know, that's probably why you're seeing an increase in that, especially, you know, with current times, a lot of us are working from home. So a lot of architecture is going to zero trust. Even though you've been an employee at the company for 10, 15 years, you still have to prove who you are. You know, it's a security measure that a lot of companies are moving to, as, you know, the digital forefront is, you know, increasing, and we're kind of less in office, especially, you know, during this pandemic. That's why a lot of changes are happening currently, I believe, at least in my eyes. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, I think like there is some pushback with multi-factor because it does add friction. But right now, a lot of us are mobile. So it's actually just like a push notification, really, now that you just either approve or not approve, or you can have the code like on your phone. So it's becoming more seamless. So I think a lot more companies, a lot more people are accepting it now, especially maybe after they something bad did happen to them, like their account was breached, or like the email was breached or compromised. Then they start to look at the multi-factor, which is again not a silver bullet. However, it prevents a lot of most of it.
So, you know, we've talked a lot about, you know, password complexities and different authentication methods and why we're using them, what are some of the ways that this, protects us, like from social engineering? And, we're talking about security awareness and, kind of went a little bit down a rabbit hole, but like, how are these applied so that, people understand why these controls are put in place?
Yeah, I think that's part of the training itself.
Mhm.
So you show them an example. So it's always, at least with phishing, it only takes one, and no matter what, everybody's going to fall at least for one. So it's for that, it's really just to recognize if you do fall for one. If you're on the business side, report it. If you're just personal, then maybe contact somebody or just understand how you can reset your password right away.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, it's really just delivering that training. And I think it should be like a little bit more entertaining. So, got like in short, probably. So, gone are the days of like the power slide decks. So now it has to be maybe more so of a 30-second read, like a 2-minute read, maybe a 3-minute video, or maybe even just like a minute and a half video to drive small nuggets of different aspects of security training
Mhm.
or security awareness to either your employees if you're in the business or just in general for personal or for home use.
Yeah.
Gamification based on,
Mhm.
like, you win an award, you get to win something. Everybody loves winning $20 because it's $20. So,
Yeah.
you get to be in a pool of, you didn't fall for it. You completed your training. You didn't, you didn't
Yeah,
click the button, or you submitted it for
Mhm.
whatever. So.
So like, some things that I've seen recently, right? A lot of spam, obviously, because everyone's working from remote, will do like a template of, Office 365, but like Office will be spelt wrong, or like it'll be italicized or whatever. And the message will look, semi legit with logos, and you really need to see who it's being sent from. And also like, why are they sending me links? Like, what is the purpose of it? Like, there wasn't a company-wide email that went out. So why am I receiving this? Oh, you need to reset your password thing.
Mhm.
Kind of look at like the grammar, right? So phishing is all about playing into common traits that are, going out. Like, if Best Buy has like a Black Friday sale and you go and make a template for, Best Buy, but, not everybody understands the English language. I mean, I still don't. I've been learning it for 30 years now. So, those are things you got to look at, like, misspelled words, how sentences are created, italicized words, because a lot of these things are coming from other countries. And when you go in and you create it in their language or a different language, and then you try to convert it to, the language of the country that you're doing, a lot of those things don't necessarily translate over. So you get special characters that are messed up and stuff like that. So, those are kind of signs that you might be able to look at.
Mhm.
The other thing too is it might say from Best Buy, but it might be something like T-785 at, some weird domain.net. Those are some red flags to look out for. And I know a lot of trainings, like you were talking about, with the interaction and, gamification, are going through and, really clicking on the things within the email to show what's wrong, like pick out the red flags, and training you to adapt to review every message instead of just going, oh, hey, look, I need to click on this because I need to change my password, and then boom, you're gone. And, I've been guilty. Sometimes you're in a time rush. We did a phishing campaign at my company, and I got a Teams invite from my boss, and I'm sitting eating lunch, and I literally had like 4 minutes to join this message, and I'm on the phone texting him, and I'm like, hey, is this legit? And he thought it was a different invite. So he said, yes. I just ran upstairs and clicked on it, and boom, I failed a phishing test. And I'm training people how, so it happens to everybody, you're not perfect and people make mistakes. That's why we have additional controls. But, teaching the atmosphere of what to look for definitely helps mitigate that.
Yeah, I think doing the phishing campaigns is key, right? So that gets them used to identifying those red flags. And to me, I take a softer stance if there's if they fail, right? So I'd rather have them fail in like in a training environment than in real life.
Yep.
Also, if they do, let's say fall for a phishing, like a real phishing attack, I want them to be comfortable to report it, so then we can investigate it, respond, change the password, and get them back going.
Yeah,
So
because in the end, we're all human and we're going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how elite we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and that click is just a chance for re-education. I mean, it's you just further the training at that point. It's not a well necessarily a bad thing. You know, change the password if it's an actual phishing attempt. Change the password, do the mitigation, but still, it's retrain time, right?
Yep.
So in all your organizations, is there a yearly requirement or more than yearly? What's your requirements?
I think base standard industry is yearly. And then, like I know speaking for my company, we do like a once a month phishing attempt. You click a wrong link, you have additional training.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention like in my introduction, but I come from a financial background also. So banks, I think is annual, but I do quarterly training. So I usually have like a longer one, but then I have for the other quarters, it's mainly 2 or 3 different like shorter trainings.
Mhm.
And then
That's company wide.
yeah, so then what I do is I use the phishing campaigns to kind of drive or kind of judge how effective the training has been.
Nice.
What kind of metrics do you use for effectiveness? Just based on clicks, entry points, things like that.
Fail rate if they've entered in their credentials. So sometimes with the phishing campaign, it could just be a click or attachment or bring like so Chris said like 0365 phishing is like
Huge.
through the roof. So
Yeah.
it's really so they actually just harvest your credentials. Like they don't download they may download malware, but it's really just getting those credentials and then harvesting like your contact list to send more phishing emails out because now it's coming from a trusted email. So then that's even a little bit more complex.
Yeah, I know.
To
I
detect.
know with us, we do, obviously you have like the reading pane, right? So you don't necessarily open any links or, click on stuff, but you can preview the message. So like ours is if you double click and open a message, but also if you click the link and then also, like you said, putting in credentials and actually trying to, input validation, on if you try to change your stuff. So like we have metrics that do all of those so we can actually like break down the percentages for how far it went. Most cases your numbers are very small, at least from our company wide, of people actually trying to reset their password and inputting stuff into this fake phishing email, which even one is scary, right? You get one, like you said, all it takes is one. So that's why the training is important, and company-wide emails, blasting out like common phishing emails that are coming in the environment and doing a screenshot, just create awareness. Security awareness, it's mundane, right? You have to do it every year, but the bad guys are thinking about new stuff every year. So you got to retrain.
Yeah, I try to track who reported it also. So like we have like a way to quickly just report phishing emails, like real ones or like the simulated ones. So I'm getting a lot of reported phishing. So that I take that into consideration too, because if I can get like 60-70% reporting it, that's even better. Then like I look at that a little bit more than the fail rate also because like I'm trying to make them fail. So
something I forget something Chris said, and I it was like a momentary thing because that's how it goes with me, and then I immediately forget. But something that I find really interesting is that from a legal point of view, if somebody visits a website and they get drive-by malware, so they visit the site, their system downloads a malicious executable and it executes. um, the user is not necessarily liable for that. However, if that executable pops up with some form of, are you sure you want to install this? Then uh, legally the responsibility can be placed on the end user for installing that malware. And there have been cases where users specifically have been charged because of that. Because if you think about it, right, something comes up on your computer and presents you with an option like, are you sure? And you click yes, you have put effort into running that. Like if you don't know what that is, and you run it, you put an effort to run it. So things like pop-up messages, right? Like daily driver kind of things that happen on your computer. You know, if you're not expecting something to pop up, then it's probably not supposed to be there. You know, verify what it is. If it looks familiar, if it doesn't.
Are you saying they use the end user agreement or like their employment agreements as a ways of stating that we're going to provide you this service of training, or we're going to put these pieces in front of you, but if you go too far, then this is on you, right? I mean, is it like, is that what you're saying they're using?
I don't recall the specific details. I know I shouldn't bring stuff up unless I have the details.
No, I shouldn't call you out like that either, though.
No,
Checks and balances.
but it's just you. It's really difficult because like we think about stuff that even being people that know and understand this stuff, there's other aspects of it that we don't. Right? Like
Once the lawyers get involved, it all
Yeah.
goes to hell.
yeah, anytime lawyers get involved, it's like everything that you think is reality all of a sudden gets turned sideways.
That would have to be a really ironclad acceptable use policy, though.
Very.
For them to do that.
Yeah. So have you guys, so something I've been seeing, you know, and to kind of elaborate more on just, you know, phishing and social engineering, and bring it to a very other common word is vishing, right? I've noticed, you know, a lot of, you know, MP3, MP4 WAV files being attached to spam messages or phishing messages saying, oh, you have a voicemail from this person, creating, you know, kind of like a vish. So does anyone want to kind of, one, has anyone else seen this? And two, does anybody want to kind of maybe talk about what vishing is?
I've never seen it, but I think that the general idea behind that is like on top of kind of being cognizant of what you should be receiving, also the context of the file type. Like when's the last time any of us received voicemail via email, right?
Right.
Things
To
like
download
that.
and to play by myself, you know, I'd be like, it's not usually how it works. So it's out of the context of your normal behavior, or not, maybe not your normal behavior, but how your email is normally behaving. So you receive that,
Right.
you know, and yeah, you can see that coming through, but I think sometimes policies should be able to remove that as well. So if you know you don't receive your, you know, whatever format as you can quarantine it, and then you can have it reviewed before it even actually gets to the end user. So I mean, if you're big enough to be able to review emails in a certain spot, you can either alert them, tell them it's in quarantine, then they can go review it themselves and then not do anything with it. Or maybe you can have a team, you know, review it for them if it's necessary.
Yeah, I see it vishing a lot more, just trying to spoof like bank customers. So you try to call in either to like a branch or to the customer service center, like a call center. So then that's how you try to access their account that way. But then if you can do like a full account takeover, then you can move funds. So I see, so like via wire or however way that you can over the phone. So I see, so training procedures that type of training, and then also procedures to make sure that we kind of reduce that risk, even if it is even if like that funds like transfer even starts, we still have like checks and balances, and also like callbacks and even like vishing from let's say spoofing like IT department, right? So that's a pretty common one that we see. So hey, I'm from IT. I have to update your computer. Can I get control of it? I just need to download, and I'll be out of your hair in a couple minutes here. So
Yeah.
that's where I've seen it from my experience.
So one you take fishing, right? And you take fishing, and you really think about how can you do a lot of damage to a company, right? Well, you attack their CEOs, you attack their board members, and stuff like that. And that's, yes, it's fishing or vishing, but we have a term in the industry that we call whaling. Get the big guy, get the paycheck. And I'm gonna do a little transition here because I needed a new beer, but we'll talk about that in a second. But I got a collab with Bissell Brothers from Portland, Maine, and Trillium from Massachusetts. So yeah, there's my shameless plug. It's called Luxurious Tiles. It's a combination of two different beers, and it's a whale of a beer to get. Luckily, all these guys have had it, so sharing is caring, by the way.
It is.
So yeah, your high end, yes, it makes us all feel bad. We're not at that position, but one day maybe. Cheers, by the way. So whaling is going after a payday, right? You get bad stuff onto a CEO's laptop. He's going to have access to files that a lot of other people don't. And that's kind of like a payday for bad guys, and that's kind of why it's called whaling. It's a Moby Dick. You're chasing the luxurious whale that's going to take down a company, so that they're going to pay you $500,000 to a couple $1 million ransom fee. So have any of you guys had to deal with personally that issue?
No, it's really so they spoof let's say like a CEO, CFO, somebody probably like more power, and they try to get somebody else. So like business email compromise. So they're spoofing CEO. The email gets sent to somebody else, trying to like wire funds, right? So like the CEO like needs it now. They're not able to be contacted. It's for like an important deal. So then that probably lower level employee, like, oh, CEO, like they're want to impress the CEO, or it's like the CEO is contacting them and they want them to do something, so they do it right away. So that's where I haven't seen that successful, but I do see that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the majority of what I've seen as well. It's not, I've seen attempts. I don't think that, and the reason that it becomes a thing is because with corporate websites, a lot of times they'd like to promote the people that are in charge. So it's very easy to go out with a scraper and pull out everybody's information. So you have, I've seen it so bad where they put like hobbies, they put like family members out there, like pictures, like a lot of information, right? So it's not just business, but it's about personal, because there's and in a sense, it's a fine line between wanting to create an approachable business, depending on your culture and whatever it may be. But those scraping capabilities, when you're looking for executives and people of importance and within a business, per se, that you can get phone numbers and emails and and names and faces like within seconds. So you're able to use that and then you can just blast it out. So it's more of a shotgun effect with that, using a spoofing attempt versus you going after them, because I think, like what Andy was saying, it's more about getting somebody else to do something because of their their position
Impersonation.
versus going after that person. I mean, yeah, they will. I mean, I can obviously see attempts going after executives, board members, senior managers, things like that. But it takes time and effort to continue to be in the area to use those credentials to get what you need, versus if you can get somebody to wire you money, versus somebody else providing you the information. So you're not doing the work for persistence purposes. It's just coming in as you requested.
So you mentioned a scraper. So one, can you
Well,
just?
I mean, you don't even have to use the scraper. So the scraper would be just it'd be like it'd be a script to you could plug in a website and it would grab all the information off there, and then you're able to use it for text purposes.
You can just do like Google Alert on the company, and then typically like the CEO, like a higher level, is like in the public spotlight. So then that's how you would quickly get some information.
So basically what you're saying is, if I'm going after company A, right, and I have a name, I can go look on Facebook and Instagram and all those things. And if your profile is public and you are posting all this information, I can use a scraper to pull information and updates and all this stuff when your birthday is, and pull all this random information from you.
Mm-hmm.
The idea.
Or pull it about. So how I usually think about it is actually what our conversation was before, where it actually starts. So we were talking about passwords. So one of the original uses of a scraper was to pull information off a website to put that into a rainbow table generator so they could brute force passwords. So that was like the original concept. It went out there, scraped information off a company website to dump into this generator, and it did random words that it would throw against passwords. So the web scrapers now are even more, right? So now we have social media scrapers. You have Google. They'll go out and do open source information, right? OSINT. It'll pull from all of those sources and correlate all of that information, and then it can be used for whatever use that individual has for it, whether it's passwords, whether it's social engineering, whatever.
And that's, you bring up a good point. I use an app to check in beers. It's been around for 10 years, so I'm sure everybody knows about it. But
You better not be bringing this up. Don't even. Oh, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it.
Untapped.
Don't
right?
even do it.
There's a scraper for Untapped. And
La 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 la.
a scary thing about this is like when you check in, like you're doing GPS location, all this stuff, which then you can tie back and to timetables, and then you could if you're not secure in like Google Maps or Apple Maps or MapQuest. I know it's really, I don't think that's around anymore, but these are things that you can geolocate and then timetable, and you can map out basically where you are. Why would bad guys use that? Well, they can then target bars that you go to or restaurants that you go to, and hey, they're your best friend buying you shots one night and then getting information from you. So security awareness isn't just on a computer and on training. It's an aspect of life. Like you have to apply these methods in more than one way, of not just clicking through training every year.
With that said, I'm going to call myself out right now in regards to 2 beers that I poured tonight, or or the beers that I've called out, or I think a quick Google search would tell you exactly where I'm at. In a sense that it wouldn't be very, very hard. You don't have to use a different app. I mean, like to find my location, I guess. But you're right, because there are, it's like you said, geolocation and in the background pictures that you're using. So there's maybe certain things in the background, and you're giving away, a little bit of your privacy every time you post something. But I think we've weighed that in our minds, and we're okay with the risk factor.
Yeah, definitely. But it's why we bring up earlier, when you're on social media, be careful what you post. If you're on vacation and you're posting you're on vacation, well, bad guys are going to go, these people are not home. who's watching their home. If you're posting pictures of, family events and stuff like that, all these pictures have a geolocation tag. So maybe shut off geolocation if you're going to take photos. And granted, yes, this goes a little bit above and beyond your social media, social engineering, security awareness training. But that's kind of the reason for these talks is we take something that is commonplace, and then we talk to it in different aspects of the mindset of bad guys at the next level. And that's where this is coming in. We have scrapers, we have geotagging, and if you really get into forensics stuff, you can pull what camera took the picture, which, if you take it from your phone, it's going to give you your phone, the operating system, all this stuff, and a location of where you took it. So all these options that, are on your phone and you're allowing apps to have access to are pulling this information too. So it's important and imperative to know these options and bring awareness to them because security awareness needs to evolve in itself to properly train you, because not all apps need a geolocation. I mean, if it's a flashlight app, why does it need a geolocation? So that should be a red flag. So coming up back into the security awareness talk is determining red flags, right? Flashlight doesn't need geolocation. You should probably get a different flashlight app.
Well, and that ends the conversation.
Welcome down to the flashlight.
That's it, boys.
That's it.
I think we nailed it. That was a long roundabout situation, but we got there.
We should have said, we should have started with that.
Right. Right. Well, now we can just talk about beer, I guess, right then? I think we covered security awareness down to the level that we should for now.
Yeah, for now, we'll reach.
We're not doing malware analysis, I guess, but
yeah, I got some more. I got some more opinions, evidently, but
Yeah.
Well, I can save them for
talk to, I guess, right?
No, yeah, I can save them for another day.
Does anybody have like a benign username on any social media? Like,
All right.
hold on a second.
Oh, you want me to just give it out to you for free? And it'd be like, yeah.
That'll be $3.50.
Which Facebook user account do you want?
Fuck it, I don't care. So there's a Python based OSINT tool called Sherlock, and you throw a username at it, and it does. I actually haven't looked at the Python. I don't know if it just does like an HTTP request, if it checks to see if URLs that include the username exist, or how it works. But basically, you throw a username at it, and it will barf out a list of all the social media sites that username exists on. So for example, just a second here, I'll share my screen.
And then we can talk about the password thing. I got pwned, I think is the name.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up before too. Yeah.
Here's some.
Have I been
tools.
pwned?
You can check your email to see if it's been accessed. And while Steve is learning to share his screen and finds this stuff, if you're curious about like a website, or you got an attachment in your email that at home, virustotal.com is a free security tool that you can just go to. You can drag and drop your file from your email directly to the website, not onto your desktop. And it'll scan it for you. And if you're unsure of like a website, punch that into the URL and it'll tell you if it's malicious or not. So, we're gonna go into talking about some tools that you can use out there to protect yourself. So, I'll start off with that. That's a free tool that you can use.
Can you guys? I'm not sure what you're seeing because all my visualization changed.
Yeah, no, we see your command
Yeah,
prompt.
you're good.
You're good.
Okay, cool. Whoops, if I can type.
Like you said, this guy's a Linux guru, so he's using Linux right now, by the way.
So
This is a little bit above and beyond. Like, this is probably more like your beginner to intermediate scripting stuff that you can use to check stuff.
I'm gonna say I advise against using this to like
General
stock
population.
or whatever. But you can see right here, of course, we have to run this as sudo.
You may want to explain what sudo is.
You know
Yeah,
what?
this is a beginner.
Podcast. We're just going to run it.
Well, you can't bring it up and not talk about it.
So here's we'll have a Linux. We'll have a Linux.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll get into all that. And so you can see here. So this is searching a lot more sites than what's actually being presented. I'm the kind of guy that likes, like, I don't know how to say it other than like positive confirmation. Like, for example, if I was to write this, and who knows, maybe I will go in and modify it. I want to see what sites I did not come up on, just the same as I want to see what sites I came up on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because then you can get an idea of, I don't know, I like to see both sides of the coin, I guess.
Mhm.
Now, there are some, I know what everybody's thinking already. So I'm going to get into a little
It could be
bit.
worse.
Something that I have found with this script and this URL specifically is that if at any point you ever had a Tinder, you will pop on this list. It doesn't matter if you have a current account or not. For all disclaimers or whatever, I do not currently have a Tinder account. However,
Sure.
this is a pretty comprehensive list of my social media
Present.
that you can see. I don't know what Wattpad is. Not going to get into the details of why results.
Yeah. So this basically is just looking for your username associated with anything that allows a URL tag at, of that at the end of it.
I was really more interested in like what's your hacker rank?
Right.
Oh, did that come up on there? It's probably 0. I mean,
if you're like number like top 5, we have to have a celebration for you or something.
Let's have that conversation.
I'll have a beer about that. Hacker rank.
This is how confident I am. Did that stop? Okay.
He's going
The
to
wrong link.
Let's see the other screen.
I'm not going to display that.
No, it's all good.
We're good.
Not good.
Did you see my webpage as well that I had up?
No, it's just showing the command prompt right now.
Yep.
Clearly, your security awareness or your Zoom awareness isn't where it needs to be. So.
Zoom awareness. No, and judging from what I just, fuck it.
Exactly.
You know what? If people are gonna try, they're gonna find me, right? Like I'm not hiding it that well.
Well,
for example, it turns out I used my real last name on my hacker rank profile. Fucking
Oops.
Do with that what you will. That's not a fucking challenge. Please don't. But
yeah. So this is a higher level security awareness tool that you can use to check what you have. It's also a good way to hide from the spouse.
No. What I will say is this is a prime example of why you should be conscious of what social media you're signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
And what information that those platforms are providing to the public without even being logged in, right? Because I'm not even logged into any of these websites, and I was able to pull down this list.
Yeah, and that's what a scraper does, right? It associates
this is
names
a social media scraper.
Yeah, so security awareness. But yeah, I think that we went to a higher level than I thought we were going to today. So you guys learned something. I'm going to say cheers. Great talk, gents.
Yeah, it was good.
Before we go down a rabbit hole, obviously we're going to have more additional talks, and we hope you come in and join us for another night. Eventually we're going to do some live
Perfect.
streams. I know this is a recording, but
Mhm.
eventually we'll do
Mike-
some live streams and provide that info. So
Yeah, we might get good at this too.
Right?
Hops and hacks. So like, comment, and subscribe.
there's our plug. There's our plug. Listen, if you like beer and you want to learn a thing or two, or you just want to come and chat and hang out and write a bad comment, whatever, we don't care. Comments help us too. Subscribe, smash that button, smash the like button, tell your friends, and hopefully in a couple conversations we'll do a dry run of a live demo, and we can have you guys ask questions. Maybe we'll do
Okay.
a
All
follow.
right, Chris. Got it.
Hey, time
We're
out.
good. We're
People
good.
are gonna put in comments, all right? So we gotta answer the
No.
questions that they come
Save
up with.
save some content for later, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go off script here a little
Oh,
bit. Do
follow
we
up.
want to do some closing comments from everybody? Like, do they want to plug like their Twitter account or anything like that?
I'm good for now.
Yeah, hit me up, Geek Steve, just like you saw in my bash in my Linux terminal.
I'm Stein Secure on Twitter. So
I'm new to Twitter. I gotta get a better handle, so maybe next chat.
I
I'm
think you
at-
can actually change your handle. I think there's some I think there's some restrictions, but I think you can change your handle.
All right. Well, I'll have to work on that. That'll be another combo.
yeah, maybe that'll be like another live. That'll be a live video or
Yeah.
live, stream.
Mike, you got something?
Yeah, I'm at Debo and you. So I think one of my only followers is Steve.
Well,
So I don't really post anything.
Kitty
I'm a
follow.
Twitter lurker.
Kitty follow. Well, it's been a pleasure, and we hope to catch everyone later. And
Cheers.
yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.